Hi guys, it's me, Nick Gaming 2174 here with another video. Today I'm bringing you all something a little different, and as you can see, we're not a reaction video, but rather a pointing out mistakes here. It's called Wakko's America. So if you guys don't know what this is from a TV show called Animaniacs. Animaniacs is a cartoon that was made in the 90s for some background information. So, and throughout some of the time when Wakko's America and Yakko's World were released, many people noticed a lot of things wrong, and I wanted to make my own video on that as well. So this will include the errors before the song as well. This is a song. This will include before the song and during the song. So let's begin. So the episode begins with the Warners in school. Here we can see. That's their teacher, Miss Flamille.
Yes, Miss Flamille.
And then, so, with their lesson, they're doing, basically, it's called Jeopardy. Now, this is where I noticed the first thing wrong. So, it comes after Miss Flamille says what the categories are. So, take a look at Dot on this side. We can see that she is standing on books here. But if we go back to here, when the stands came out, she was only standing on the floor, so there's the first thing wrong. So let's continue. So here Yakko picks his first category. And then Wakko is able to answer it.
Who is Valerie Bertinelli?
Now, for those of you that don't know how Jeopardy works, you basically gotta answer your questions in the answers in the form of a question. Now, this is where the second thing is wrong. So, if we go back to here, so Wakko takes the United States for 500. We can clearly see that it's in the bottom right corner, but in the close-up, there are 2 extra boxes around it. And then, so this is the daily double.
Wakko, you can wager all or part of your money.
I'll blow the wad.
So then Wakko decides to take
All right then. In the category of the United States, the answer is
the question. So then this is where another thing is wrong. So we can see that it says the names of all 50 states and their capitals, but capitals is spelled the incorrect way, where this O is actually supposed to be an A, because what we're going to be hearing in the song is the type of capital we're hearing is within the states, not the nation.
the names of all 50 states and their
So
capitals.
Wakko has to name all the states and their capitals, which may seem easy, but it's rather actually difficult. So here he draws you guys may wonder what that is. That's actually supposed to be the Mississippi River. I'm not gonna say that this is an error from the way he drew it, because obviously it's hard to replicate something in an animation, so I'm not gonna knock off points for that. So now the song begins.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio. There's Montgomery, Alabama, south of Helena, Montana. Then there's Denver, Colorado, and
So
Boise, Idaho.
here he's beginning to name the
Austin, then we
states.
go north
Now here's where the
to
first error is seen. If we take a look at Massachusetts here, we can see that it's missing a whole lot of its coastline. So for Massachusetts, yes, it is in the shape of a rectangle, but coming out here, there's supposed to be a peninsula, which is often referred to as its coastline, kind of going up in like a hook shape, but we don't see that there.
It's Boston and Albany, New York.
Now this is where the second error is.
Washington.
Wakko also names Washington, D.C., but Washington is not a state, not even the capital of one, but is instead the nation's capital.
Santa
This
Fe,
is also where
Mexico,
another error
Nashville.
is, and this is one I would expect people to see, but they don't. So when we see Wakko here, he points to Tennessee, but it's in the wrong place. We can see it's pretty close to Texas, and it's supposed to be further east.
To see.
But then here,
Elvis used to hang
wait
out
until
there
this,
a lot, you know.
but in this part, we can see that it's back in its normal place. So it went from here to there.
Trenton's in New Jersey, north of Jefferson.
Now this is where another error is seen. He says that Trenton is east of, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Trenton is north of Missouri, but I'm going to pull up a map here, because I'm going to use this as extra proof. So here, we can see that, so we got a map here, and so this is Missouri here, and this is New Jersey. So Trenton is here, the capital, and Jefferson City is here. So they're more east, technically. And also another thing that, I'm not going to count this as an error, but if we go back here, Wakko refers to it as Jefferson, Missouri. Now, I'm not going to, that's technically passable because some people do sometimes refer the city as just their first name, not including city in the name. So I'm not going to count that as an error. Now here's where a pronunciation error is heard. So listen to the way Wakko pronounces South Dakota's capital. If you heard it, he pronounced it Pierre, but it's actually Pierre, not Pierre. Now this is where the next mistake is, and it's a pretty bad one. Rhode Island and Delaware aren't next to each other. Let's look at a map here, we can see. So look, this is Rhode Island here, and this is Delaware. Look how far apart they are. They're separated by 3 different states. Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey. So they are not next to each other. Also here we can see Massachusetts has its border, not border, coastline again. Now here's an error I noticed that's actually pretty hard to spot. If we look up in this area, we can see that Massachusetts is just about seen bordering Maine. It's really hard to see, but here, I'll pull up the map again. So here's Massachusetts here, and this is Maine here. You can just see they barely miss each other. So yeah, that's not correct either, with them bordering each other. Juneau's in Alaska, and there's Lincoln in Nebraska, and it's Raleigh out in North Carolina, and then... Now here's another error I noticed, and many people I think do notice it, but they don't point it out. So here Wakko is showing Washington, well, the state, but if we look at it, it's actually misplaced. And you may wonder, it's not misplaced, but it is. So, because look, it looks like its east borderline is bordering Canada, but if we pull up the map here, its east borderline, which is here, it doesn't border Canada, so it's misplaced. In Washington, Phoenix, Arizona, and Lansing, Michigan, you guys think I missed that last error, so let's go back here. When Wakko mentions Michigan, we can see the Upper Peninsula doesn't light up. Now there are 2 things wrong here with the way the map is depicted. So the first thing wrong is with Missouri. Take a look at what states is bordering. We can see it's bordering Iowa, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. But if we pull up a map here on going to where Missouri is, we can also see that it borders Nebraska, this state here. But in the map here, it's not bordering Nebraska. And the second thing wrong is with Illinois. Take a look at what states Illinois is bordering to. We can see it borders Wisconsin, Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. But let's pull up the map again. We can see that Illinois only borders down to Kentucky, not Tennessee. So that's another thing wrong with the map. South Carolina with Columbia down the way, and Annapolis in Maryland. Now this is also another thing I noticed that's wrong. So, and you guys may want, it's a little hard to understand, but take a look where the star is. Well, Maryland's capital. That indicates where Annapolis is. Annapolis is Maryland's capital. So we saw it's on Chesapeake Bay, like in this spot here, but it's on the other side. This is Annapolis here, the capital. So yeah, the star is in the wrong place. Also, the errors with the Missouri and Illinois are fixed. And also, the next thing wrong here I noticed is that New Mexico is the same color as Colorado. There should be a borderline here, but there isn't. Atlanta's down in Georgia, and there's Bismarck, North Dakota, and you can live in Frankfurt in your old Kentucky home. Salem in Oregon. Yeah, he's naming the last few states, like some of the ones I mentioned before he did. Also, in this last area, we can see Massachusetts missing most of its coastline again. So Wakko's finished saying them all, but he gets them wrong. Well, he didn't name any states wrong. He didn't put in the form of a question. And he soon realizes his mistake and smashes himself in the head with his violin. And that's basically the episode and the song. So those were all the mistakes I found. So if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. As always, feel free to subscribe. So bye for now.